And that in terms of communication skills, Mr. Balls is Alistair Darling with an English accent. So tell me how things get improved.
I think you've partly answered your question, in that Gordon Brown has always had a close cabal of people around him. Ed Balls has always, since he came to work for Gordon Brown in 1994, has always performed that role. And I think Gordon Brown is trying to hug those people that are still so loyal to him even closer. That's the sign of his weakness. Now,
you said in the expenses scandal that Mr. Howard had used money that he took in expenses to finance the constituency office. Tell us exactly what the claim was, and then I want Michael Howard to respond.
Well, there's a lot of Tory MPs that, you know, there's a lot of Tory MPs that have done this. A lot of Labour MPs have done it, and actually they use office costs to basically funnel through the local association. And
that was the complaint.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
Are you suggesting there's anything improper in what I did?
We're stating the facts as we see it.
No, why don't you answer my question?
We are stating the facts as we see it, that the public do not know that taxpayers' money goes to fund local associations in that way.
Every penny that I paid to my local association was to compensate them for the services which they provide for me as a Member of Parliament. I use the office to hold my surgeries. I use part of the services of the agent. I pay them to advertise my surgeries. Every penny is properly accounted for. And so I ask you again, and you refuse to answer the question 3 times, well, are you suggesting the's anything improper in what I've done?
Yes, so is there something improper in using the constituency office? I think what you do is your MP surgery, correct?
Absolutely.
What's wrong with that?
Well, we feel that this is the state funding political parties, and that's clearly what's happening here. And the public do not know this.
So you think it is improper?
Pardon?
So you think it is improper?
We are telling you what the public do not know, that they think this is funding political parties,
It's not funding
Michael.
political parties.
Of course it is. It's funding your local association.
Because they give me part of their office. If I want to hold my surgery in a different office, I'd have to pay rent for it.
That's your view. Our view is that
so you're
this is
suggesting
funding
that's improper?
Parties. I'm telling you what we say.
Why would it be improper? Just explain to our viewers.
I haven't said it's improper, Andrew, as he keeps in a loyally way trying to put it in my mouth.
I'd like you to answer the question one way or another.
We think that the public do not know that taxpayers' money goes to funding political parties.
Tony
it's
Wright,
not going to fund... Hang on,
I'll come back in a second. Let me just bring in Tony Wright and Vince Cable, and I'll bring you back. Yes.
Could I help with this? Because...
please.
Against all my sort of instincts, I think the Telegraph has performed a service here. I think there was a scandal waiting to happen, needed to be exploded, some good... It's actually been sorted already now because of what's happened. But I understand that... This is just an example. I figured... I haven't actually looked, but I was told I figured in your paper this week because I'd put blinds up at my windows. Now, you know, when I got elected in 1992, I brought some cast-off curtains from home, which by 2 or 3 years ago had disintegrated. I'm overlooked by other flats, had to put something up at the windows. I put blinds up. All right?
Why didn't you just dip into your own pocket?
But because we're told that we're in it.
They're all told. You're all told to go and claim the money. That's fine. If that's your defence, again, then so be it.
What I'm saying,
never mind your blinds. Your blinds are interesting.
But if that is advanced,
what about the
abuse?
principle that Michael Howard is saying is, and I mean, this is really what I asked you. Is there anything wrong in taking some of the money you get in a form of expenses and using that to base your surgery, MP surgery, in your constituency office?
Well, I think if you're paying a proper market rent in a repetible way, then I think, you know, I can't see what the issue is. If that's
Don't the public want a division between the two?
If they are...
But
if...
Who says? How do you know?
How do you know? You seem so incredibly angry about this, and yet the public do not know until all this broke exactly how many of your colleagues, Michael, across Parliament have been abusing the system, and yet again we've seen incredible angry reactions from politicians.
I'm not talking about many of my colleagues, I'm talking about my case. Now, you say the public are very angry about this.
Yes, they clearly are.
You say they clearly are. I haven't had...
You say they're not?
I have not had a single email or a single telephone call about your story this morning. Yesterday...
Well, maybe that's because you're standing down.
We're coming on to your story of yesterday, I hope. Yesterday I had one abusive email. I had one email complaining about what the emailer said was the aggressive way in which I'd been treated on Radio Kent that morning, thoroughly supportive of me. And my association office has had about 20 phone calls entirely supportive of me. So I don't think you have a direct line to what the public thinks.
So in your view, you believe you have done nothing wrong and you're perfectly happy for this to come out?
Yeah, but I haven't finished yet. The reporter...
We've only got a minute.
The reporter that the Telegraph put on my story yesterday lied. Do you condone that?
No.
She admitted lying.
Explain to me how she lied.
She admitted having lied. Do you condone the fact that she lied?
Explain to me how she lied, and I'll tell you the side of the story.
I will. When she phoned the person who did the maintenance at my home, my second home, She didn't tell him she was from the Telegraph. She didn't tell him why she was making the inquiries. And when he asked her how she'd got his telephone number, she falsely said she got it from a friend. That was a lie.
She called the gardening company that was stated on the claims to ascertain the nature of the business, to check it was a proper business.
And she lied.
Then, after she spoke to you, she went back, she explained who she was, and she got an on-the-record quote, which, Michael, he said most of the work he carries out for you is gardening.
She lied to him.
No,
why can't
All right,
she admitted to me that she lied to him?
Okay.
She admitted to me that she lied to him.
I'm afraid we've had a good run for our money. Doing me out of a job, by the way, both of you. I mean, I meant to be adjudicating or administering. Vince the Cable sticking with us. I'll give you a very brief final word.
Well, just to say, we can't go on like this. I mean, we cannot go on like this.
Oh, yes, we can.
No, we now know what, as the Archbishop of Canterbury said the other day, we know what the problem is. It's actually being sorted. Transparency is the answer. It's resolved it already. Now every receipt is going to be published. So the problem is dealt with. Now, either we wallow in this, because we're into a kind of anti-politics thing, anti-politician thing, and we just keep wallowing in it forever. Or we say we've sorted it and we move on. Now, it's up to us.
Well, it's a classic Labour defence. Let's move on.
He talks of transparency, but puts blinds up on his window.